So, 5 or 6 years ago, the youth home started doing bike rides again and taking boys along with them, going 400, 500 miles, um, stopping at churches, speaking, raising money, and also raising awareness like before. And they continued to do it because not only was it a good opportunity to raise money and talk to people about what we're doing here and minister to people, I guess, recruit boys, that kind of thing. But the boys who actually got to ride apparently enjoyed a lot, and it's just a really good experience for them because it's a big, long bike ride. It's challenging, it's fun, it's something that once you've accomplished it, you can be real proud of yourself.
A number of years ago, when we were really thinking of how do we raise awareness of what we do here in Vidalia, Georgia. I mean, we would say we work with young men from all over the country, but how do we raise awareness? Because certainly we know families are struggling, families are hurting. And so, and I was in a conversation as an avid cyclist myself. I was in a conversation with my friend Mac Jordan, and Mac and I were discussing, ways to raise awareness, and he started talking to me about about raising money while he was biking. He was going to be biking anyway. He might as well raise money for the youth home while he did it. So he kind of spurred the conversation. We said, well, what about if we just take two guys and try and see how it works? And see if it motivates and encourages the boys, if it does raise awareness, if it gains us some exposure, if we're able to help other families in other communities that need help with their teenage son. So the first year we biked with two young men and a couple staff and Mac as a volunteer, and what we saw in our young men is that it was a real source of encouragement to them. That they finished something. It was only 500 miles at the time. They finished something that they didn't necessarily think that they could do. We saw the boys blossoming. We saw opportunities for them to speak that they didn't have before. We saw them finish something that they were excited about. We saw parents getting involved and engaged with their sons as they were doing this ride, and we thought, this is fantastic. And so it just at that point became what we were going to do. Every fall we were going to take the boys on a bike ride, and by 2007 we knew let's by our 50th anniversary we're going to bike to Omaha, Nebraska. Let's honor what Paul and Glenda did.
This year is the 50th anniversary, and just what better way to honor the youth home and Glenda and Paul with a 1,500-mile bike ride to Omaha, just like he did at the start of the home. So I think it'll be pretty cool.
We value our history. And to think about that, and to think, well, here, because Paul biked, it spurred this idea of a fundraiser. I mean, one of the things that he didn't see, probably, I wouldn't think, but he didn't see that when he biked 50 years ago, that it would start a small event, a fundraising event for the youth home that we would use as a way to not only encourage the boys, but as a way to generate awareness, to raise funds for the home, to support what we do here. And so those are some of the pieces that went into doing this bike ride on the 50th anniversary. Because honestly, how often do boys bike 500 miles? They just don't. Well, how often are they going to have the opportunity to do a 1,500-mile bike ride? And what we hope, what we pray will come out of this is that this will be a memory that lasts their entire life. That when they come to difficulties in their life, that they'll remember that they went through something very difficult. That they physically overcame a challenge, a difficult challenge. And in that would begin to set a habit of how they overcome spiritual hurdles in their relationships with their wife, or maybe hurdles in their relationship with their children. But that they'll have something to draw upon in their life that will give them confidence of, I can do this. I can push through. I can push through when I'm tired. I can push through when it's hard. I can push through when I don't think that I can. There's more to me than I thought. And to build that in them is an awesome thing. And so part of the bike ride this year is the same as what it's been, is to build something in their character that they didn't know was there. That they would see something in their character that they did not know was there.
this program has done a lot for me so far, and I have a lot of friends who've gone through the same thing, and this place has been like a blessing to me, and it's helping me grow, and I can see it. And sometimes I wish that other people could be a part of this and get the blessings that I've received from this place.
After 50 years, repeating this bike ride, sort of to symbolize that although the problem that they were addressing, that Paul Anderson was addressing back then, although it was different than the problem that the youth home addresses now. I mean, kids have different problems these days just because, things change over time. But at the root of it, it's the same concept. It's kids with problems. Kids who need help.
When I heard Drew Reed talk, he was talking about how this is supposed to be like a parent movement, like the just say no thing. And then when he did his speech, it kind of put things in perspective for me, because I thought it was just a ride and we're just doing what Paul did, but really it's like has nothing to do with us. It has to do with spreading the word and reaching out to other people, and to make this a big movement that could affect tons of people.
The idea of this bike ride is to sort of, it's almost like a statement that after 50 years is still going on, this worth doing. The youth home is still doing it.